Most of the time I don't have any idea what I'm going to say or talk about. Just kind of wait for it. But today, sometimes it's a rock or something I'll pick up, okay? Like yesterday it was this rock, which is now in an important aspect of today, but in a different way. But today it was a word. One word. I haven't actually, it's involved in a lot of what I've talked about already, but I haven't really said that word. And it's commitment. Because it's implied in everything that I've said about this circle, this path of the circle. I always tell people they come to me for help, and I always tell them the most important thing is what I'm sharing with you as a path in life. But you must commit yourself to it as a path for life, for life. And it's about a relationship with yourself. A relationship through all the layers to that self. For our history of pain, things we don't want to feel that we try to get rid of become a barrier to the true relationship with who you are. So you must have a relationship with them that actually is the same to get to that truth of who you are. And it is this sense of the circle, open, loving, spacious, nothing thrown out, no judgment, no criticism, allowing everything to move, don't believe in your thinking, give up being right, all these things involved in this commitment of this path of the circle, which truly is the path of self-love, which is compassion. Compassion. So it's a commitment to compassion that begins with self-compassion. And then as you cultivate that and live from the center of the circle of who you are, that compassion naturally is able to extend itself to others who perhaps are behaving in these ways that you know you could have that behavior inside of you. But what about the commitment in other relationships? So I have people that come to me and want me to do a commitment ceremony for them. Maybe they're married already, or maybe they just got married. Or sometimes it's a recommitment. Or they'll call it a unification ceremony. You could call it a marriage. So is there a difference between the commitment to this path of self-compassion that extends outward and a commitment to somebody else, that's for life? It may not be, you never know. But still you can be committed to the compassion for life and not know what the outcomes can be. So let's take this sense of perhaps just two people. It could be more. There are families that create a circle. Sometimes I do They're almost like puberty, coming of age ceremony, so to speak. I bring them to the circle. For their whole life, they've got to live in the center and get all the attention. Maybe they're 14, 15 years old. So now it's a conscious choice to not have this sort of kind of a greed of all the attention coming to you and everything serving you, which is natural when you grow up and you're a child. You need that to grow up healthily. But now in this coming of age, now you commit yourself to the circle of the family. That it's not all about you now. You think about other people. You think about how your behavior affects them. You think about kindness. So then there's this commitment of marriage, of a union with someone. And so in this sense of these separate people, selves, and that separation can exist in yourself too. So this whole medicine of one path is about removing the separation. So a marriage is a union, and ideally it's as if treating the other as yourself and no separation. I often talk about what I call a spine in a person. It's the spine of their life. It's what, when they live in the circle of this center of self, what they bring into the world that is unique to them. So let's take these two people who have come to join in a ceremony of marriage. This stick it's light, it's weightless, no weight whatsoever, but it's so strong I can't break it. So let's say this person's spine of their life, and it's a very essential kind of to be. It's big, it's very big, because it's something they are, not so much something they try to do. So let's say it's to be the demonstration of truth, and it might be that this person, they have this feeling about truth, about living the truth, knowing the truth, and speaking the truth. So this, to be the demonstration of the truth, is kind of an essential part of them. But if they're going to ask others to be that, then they must be it themselves. They must be the demonstration of it. And so maybe they're a person is strong and loyal and honorable and has all these wonderful qualities. And then maybe the other person, they're different. There's a different feeling in this entirely. Maybe they're a person that just naturally is somewhat quiet. They're not outspoken and demonstrating the truth, but they listen well. They're spacious well to the other person. And that listening, those are raven. I can hear it. I'm listening. So it is to be the listening. So again, it's this center, being, but it's natural to them to be the listening. So these are both admirable, obvious qualities in these two individual people who want to get married. And they recognize these attributes of the other one. They admire them. They honor them. So in part, some of this union and marriage is an honoring. When you are this spacious circle to yourself, you are honoring. You're honoring your soul's history. You're honoring it as a sacredness, nothing thrown out. So these two individuals who wish to come together, just as you want to come together with yourself, there is an honoring. And they will now share their separate sort of self-circles, now they're choosing to share a circle. This circle, this ancient symbol of oneness and God. Now they are choosing to come together in this, and their separateness to join in this single circle of marriage. Each bringing their unique spine that they bring into the world. So in this ceremonial process, I may have had them go out and gather their stick as we journey to the circle where that union and ceremony will happen. But part of this ceremony and part of this marriage, part of what we have to be loving to inside of ourselves, are things that are sometimes broken. Maybe a person came from a broken family, a dysfunctional family. So maybe they have difficulties. Maybe they want this marriage, maybe they want this union, but they actually have difficulties with opening up and trusting somebody because of this brokenness that they have. Maybe the other person, maybe in order for them to survive, so this brokenness, maybe it creates a kind of victim in that person. They're very sensitive to criticism and judgment and things. And the other one grew up with somebody always constantly criticizing them, and they had to toughen themselves to that it didn't matter. So they became more of the warrior. This is a very hard, soft stone. And this is the victim's rock. Beautiful white rock, but it's been split in half this way. This one, you can't break this rock. You can't break it. But maybe that means you can't get into it. So remember, these two individuals who wish to join together and share a circle of unification, marriage, and they want to commit to that. They bring this history with them, just as all of us have a history. The key to your own success in having peace in life is your relationship to this brokenness inside of you, this hurt, this whatever it is, and letting all the energies move. That you take responsibility for it when it seems in the outside world it causes you to react, and you don't blame the other person for making you feel that way. Each of these people must do that for themselves first. And then, so this marriage, how can you pretend these don't exist? How in this ceremony of coming together can you pretend that you don't bring a history? And then in fact this victim and this warrior, actually they form a natural attraction. This one wants to protect this one. But after the attraction, each one inside of the other repels. And so what was a marriage begins to break apart because of the lack of a relationship with what's inside of themselves as loving. Because that they must carry into this relationship and circle of marriage. Each of them must be this open heart circle to the other's history, without blaming it for making it feel a particular way, without accusing. They must create a circle of safety for that other person's emotions, so that then they heal, So that then this circle of marriage, just like your circle of self and this medicine of one that you are, is a natural path of movement and self-love and compassion that's healing. So these two come together. And in that coming together, they're choosing to help the other heal through this commitment to this circle that they are coming together in.